Welcome to Daily Success. Listen in on these personal conversations with today's leaders, innovators, and influencers as they discuss daily success principles, systems, and solutions. Get ready for Daily Success. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and this is Daily Success Word of the Day. Today's guest is Arlene KRANTZ. She is a speaker, author, mentor, and business strategist who left a successful career in retail to single-handedly grow her first business from 0 to over 7 figures. Now, with 30 years of experience as an entrepreneur, Arlene's current passion and mission is helping women create and grow businesses so that they can make the money they deserve and live an independent lifestyle filled with abundance and joy. Arlene's keen vision and no-nonsense style helps her clients gain the clarity they need to overcome the obstacles and limiting beliefs that stop them from achieving their goals and making money. She is a dynamic speaker and presence, and she's a mentor who does whatever it takes in providing creative and practical solutions to guide and support her clients in their journey to fulfill their dreams and live a life by their own design. Arlene has been seen on Fox TV, CBS, NBC, ABC, and she's spoken at West Point, Harvard, and NASDAQ, and her book was even on the NASDAQ Jumbotron at Times Square. What a thrill that must have been. Arlene is a mom of 2 and a grandmom of 7, and she lives in Los Angeles. And today, Arlene KRANTZ is our expert daily success word of the day. And guess what that word is? Money, 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 money. So Arlene, tell me more. What is your definition about money?
Well, money is a tool. That's all basically it is. It's a tool, paper, coins, to get you what you want in your life. So if you want to go out and eat dinner, you have to have money. I mean, you can use credit cards, but you still pay that with money, right? So if you want to go buy an outfit, you have to have money. If you want to create business, you need to have the money to develop that business. So money is a tool, but most of us, in my day, it was like money doesn't grow on trees. Money isn't everything. Well, in a way, it is. Because if you don't have money and you're always worrying about bills, you can't do what you want in your life. You're always being held back. It's like, I can't do anything because I don't have the money. And it stops you from moving ahead and what you want to do, whether it's a career, whether it's to travel, whether it's to do anything. That money issue will hold you back if you don't learn to love the word money. Love the word money. Love it. Money is an amazing thing.
Money is an amazing thing because you're right. Why did you I'm thinking about your life, and you actually went from 0 to 7-figure business, and now you work with women, and money is such a big part of all this. What do you find is most of the people you work with, what is their relationship to money?
Well, most of the women think they're not deserving. And the most important thing is we have never been part of the money conversation. When our parents, you could see if you come from a poor family, if you come from a rich family, but they don't have money conversations with you when you're growing up. When you become an adult, if you're in a relationship, if you get married, our husbands, when I got married, my husband never talked to me about money. So I was the one that would budget. Hey, we're great at budgeting, most of us. But we never learned about money. What does money mean? What can we do with money? We had to depend on our parents to give us money. We had to depend on our spouses to give us money. So we were never money independent, and we were never money conscious. We were never told, my parents never said to me, listen, Arlene, you got your first job, take 10% of that money and put it away so you can start saving. They didn't tell me anything like that. So I went out and I had my first job, when I graduated high school, and I went shopping and I bought clothes and I bought shoes. I made sure I had money for lunch because there was a lunchroom there. I made sure I had money for the bus to get to and from work, but the rest of it I spent. I was never part of that money conversation. Is what can you do to use your money to save, to invest? I didn't know any of that. And I didn't know that until a really late age when I actually started my own business. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, maybe I should go to an investment company and start investing. I didn't know any of these things. And it's funny, I was in an event and there were these two guys sitting next to me. And they had just met, and they're talking Bitcoin, and they're talking property, and they're talking investment. I wanted to join in that conversation, so I started asking them questions. Then I go that night out with a bunch of women friends, and what are we talking about? Hey, you look good. You look like you lost weight. Oh, I love that outfit. How's your kids doing? I'm like, wait, why are we not having money conversations? So that's why I think money, we have to get over our issues, which most women have, about that we're not deserving of money, that we can't ask for money, that, who's going to pay us? And then when we ask for money, we apologize. Oh, is that too much for you? Oh, it's okay, I'll lower my price. And that doesn't make you feel good about yourself. So
You're absolutely right, because I deal with that every single time I put together a proposal or a budget or have some type of an interaction with making money. And it's like, what I provide is very valuable, yet asking for that money. So when you work with people, you actually help them to get over some of these obstacles. And I imagine some of the things are limiting beliefs or mindset issues. What would you say when you start to work with someone, what do you tackle? And maybe you have a couple tips on how to tackle this issue related to the money, since you're right. Women are basically, we're not taught from an early age to have those money conversations. And even in relationships, they still say that money is one of the main reasons why people break up or marriages are destroyed based on not having money conversations. So
it's interesting because
could do.
Well, it's interesting because I know two instances already in my own family. My aunt and uncle, my uncle passed away, and he was very wealthy. And my aunt, who always had beautiful clothes and lived a lifestyle, never had her own checkbook. And not until later ages, she actually had her own credit card. And my other aunt, that was on my mother's side. On my father's side, the same thing happened. My aunt never went food shopping, never paid a bill, never did anything. And when uncle passed away, she didn't even know what to do. And that's a lot of what's happening out there. So women have to learn, especially women in business. It's what I do with them. Like, for instance, I'll say, well, how much are you charging? Well, I charge $50 an hour. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. So I try to bring them up little by little. I say, well, can you charge $100 an hour? Oh, yeah, I think I could do that. Well, can you charge $150 an hour? And I take them a point that they start to feel uncomfortable, and then we stay at that point. Sometimes I'll push them past that. And then it's also, the other thing is that we don't do hour anymore. Those hourly times are gone. Let's put together a package. What kind of package can we put together to give this, say this, listen, you get 3 hours with me for $500. And I'm saying, okay, let's talk about that 500. Can you charge $1,000? And they're like, well, and I say, look at all the value you give that person in that 3 hours. Yeah, I could do that. And then I say, okay, can you charge $1,500 an hour? I mean, I'm sorry, for the package. So I take them, I keep pushing them and how much they're charging until it gets to the point they're practically freaking out. And it's like, okay, we can stop at that level. And the other thing is that, as I said before, when women start to say what they deserve, what their price is, they start going, oh, I don't know if it's okay. Are you okay with that amount? And you know what I say to them? When you say, first you get them to want what you have. And then when you get to talking about what it costs, when you say that money, just zip it. Zip your mouth and shut up. Do not start giving excuses and do not start saying why you're worth it. Just shut up. You already had that conversation. And that's the problem. We start kind of get motor mouth about, trying to say, well, maybe you shouldn't even pay me. I'll do it for free. I'm like, no. And I'll tell you a great story on that. There's a couple that I knew from when I was in a mastermind. And it's a husband and wife. And he is an expert. He has been on television. He's written books. He has an amazing, amazing product that he has. And I said, we were sitting around. Of course, I always get to how much you charge. And he told me, I almost fell off my chair. I said, are you kidding me? You're saving people's lives and that's all you're charging? And he could barely pay his bills. And I took him, I think he was charging like $6,000, but that's not a lot for what he was doing. I said, okay, you are now $25,000. I just threw the number out. And he looked at me and he went, I said, he said, well, what about the people that can't afford me? I said, you cannot be for everybody. If you feel that way, do one pro bono customer a month. So you're giving, but at the same time, you're being able to pay your bills. You're able to take a vacation. His wife had a big issue around that. So I'm an NLP practitioner. So I took her, there were lines on the carpet where we were in this mastermind room at the hotel. And I took her into the $6,000 space and she's feeling it. I said, okay, I want you to cross that line and go into the $25,000 space. And when she crossed that line over and I got her to feel that in her body, you're now at $25,000, she was feeling it. So we finished that and we're about to go out for a break. And someone came up to her and said, well, what do you charge for what you do? She said, $25,000. I almost fell off. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was so thrilled that she got it. And now I see what they're doing in their life. They're traveling the world, helping people for free in third world countries. Now they have a boat. So they're traveling and they're doing the things that they want. And at the same time, they're saving lives. And at the same time, they're doing pro bono. But they deserve that to make that money. You have education, you go to school, you learn all these skills, you spend a fortune going to mentors and to coaches. You need to be paid money. So that to me was like one of my biggest success stories, I have to say, that instant with that NLP modality that she was able to get into it. And that's what they're doing now. It's amazing.
Wow. That's really interesting because you say that. I'm thinking about that transformation from $6,000, barely able to pay the bills. Now they're charging $25,000 to people who want what they have and know it's worth that and are able to pay that. And it allows them to actually serve more people because now they're not struggling.
Yeah, because the thing is that they were so worried about people on Medicare would not be able to afford it. I said, look, if my life was on the line and I had no money, I would be asking everybody that I knew, listen, I need to have this treatment. Can you help me? It's like that old thing that they say when you go on a plane and you're with your kid and something happens and the air mask comes down. If you give it to your kid first and you die, what's the point? So you do it first, and then you rescue that. You rescue yourself first, and then immediately, which is fast, you give it to your kid.
Right.
And that's it. You know, you have to take care of yourself first. Because otherwise, you walk around and you don't feel good about yourself. You know, it's like, oh my God, all my friends are going, they're taking a trip to Panama, and I can barely go to the store and buy my own food. We all have a gift. We have a gift to give the world, and we need to be compensated for that gift. And for women, it's such a big issue. So when originally you asked me what was my word, I was going to use the word bold, because women need to be brave and bold and step into their power and ask and demand what they're worth. If somebody says you're too expensive, I can't afford you, there's the other person that's waiting for you. You can't be for everybody. One person is not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. I'm an edgy person. I'm a Philadelphia woman. I got that Philadelphia, you hear my accent, you know, and I'm a pushy broad, and I will push women to do what they need to do to get where they want to go. So, you know, it's important for me when I see women starting to ask for money, what they deserve. I am so proud of them. You know, and then we see if that works for them, because they might have gone to a certain level and then they're like, you know, I got to here and I'm so excited. Now I can pay my rent. Now I can pay, you know, do the things I want to do, but I want to go to the next level, so that we quantum leap them into a bigger package. Because maybe just making the package bigger that you're offering, that's worth it to ask for more money.
So the people you work with, can you give me you mentioned the couple, and the mastermind. What types of people or businesses do you normally work with? Is there a certain type of business that the work that you do works best with? Or when you talk about packages, I want to expand on that a little bit, because maybe some of our listeners are new to the concept of not working for an hourly wage. And you're 100% right, because I came from the newspaper business, and not only did I work for an hourly wage, I was on salary, which really means that they're going to work you as hard as they can for 60 hours to 80 hours a week for one rate. And so your hourly rate shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. So that's a 100% great point. Number one, get out of hourly thinking and go into the packaging. So when you say that, maybe if you have a story or an example of a client that you've helped besides your mastermind couple, on what a package might look like, a starter package and a medium package, and go up, so that you can provide that value and that service.
Right. Well, say for instance, I have a woman, actually one of my first clients was a photographer, and she would just do, take photographs. And I'm like, no, give them a bigger package so you can charge more. Maybe instead of just doing, giving them one print, give them 5 prints. Add an extra value in it that you're going to do. Instead of 2, you give them the choice of 2, give them the choice of 4. Instead of saying my package includes a big and 8x10, and then I have some smaller ones, add some more value to it. Another woman that I have that is she's a marriage makeover coach, and she's amazing. And we talked about that. I said, so add more value to it. Instead of just doing a one-on-one coaching, add them and put them in your membership site. Put them that you have a book, give them your book. Give them, there's so many different things that they can include to make it a full package. They go, oh, wow, I'm now going to get one-on-one coaching. I'm going to be part of the Facebook group every month. I'm going to be in a Facebook group. Now I'm going to get, I'm going to include, I have a friend that is she does design and clothing. Now I'm going to add a consult with her. So you can come up with so many different ways to add value to add things to a package. And most of the time they want you. So and then you can have different levels. Well, if you come into my Facebook group and you're in my mastermind group twice a month, this is one value. If you want me one-on-one, I can give you a half an hour a month. That's another value. If you want me more, because it's your time that's the most expensive time.
Right.
A mastermind is easy. A Facebook group is no problem. You go in there, you answer stuff. But when they want you, that's when the value goes up. So you could add that into the whole package. I have a package that I do one-on-one with you. I work with you for 3 solid months. You work every single week for an hour a week. And that package is $15,000. Zip your mouth. Zip it. That's my new thing, zip it. But it's true. It's true. And the first time I ever did that, I forgot what I even said to the guy. I'm like, oh my God, I really asked for that $15,000, and I said it in a way that I deserved that money. I deserved it. And I didn't care where he got it from. That was his problem. That was not my problem. And I think that's the other thing that women, we think about, well, where are they going to get the money? They're talking, they have no money. And then we get into that, right? Am I right?
Oh my God.
So it's
I just went through this exact thing because the client kept talking about how they didn't have any money, yet they had me put together this massive package. And I'm going, well, if they don't have any money, then why are they wanting all this stuff? So I know they have to have money or the ability to get it, but it's like they're saying this, planting these seeds of doubt in me.
That's right.
So that I'm worried about them when in fact, you're right. I should be looking at it. Hey, I'm providing value. Yeah. I deserve this amount of money or more because the value is so great. And I shouldn't worry about how they're going to get the money because they're saying they want it. So it is their job to figure out how to get the money. And there are so many ways now to get money that it's unbelievable. People, obviously, you either you earn it or you have a credit card or you have family members or you get a loan or whatever it is, because the truth is, in order to grow your business, you do need money to help you grow it. And I love your attitude because your attitude is contagious. And I'm sure everyone listening is saying, hey man, I need to charge more. That's why I'm like all excited, is going, oh my goodness, she's reading my mind. Now, I know that you also actually do have a system that is kind of like reading minds of people, because you were talking to me about it, and there's a different personalities that you work with to help people to determine how to have the right conversation. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you about that. I went to an event last year, and this woman spoke about personalities. And sometimes you want to sell something to somebody, and they're like looking at you like, I haven't a clue what you're telling me. You're going way over my head. So this woman, Sherry Tree, came up with a system on the 4 personalities of why people buy. Not so much the psychology of who they are, more why people buy. So there is this system of DISC, there's Myers-Briggs, there's all those tests out there that people sit there for an hour and have to go through all these things to learn how to do, how to find out who that person is. But that's not really telling you why they buy. It's only telling you the personality. Well, Sherry, she went through all these systems. She figured out, because she was in sales, and she said, why can't I sell? What's going on here? So she started to look at why people buy, and she came up with this brilliant system. So it's only actually a month and a half ago that I went to a 2.5-day workshop with her, and this is so brilliant. Because if you are a nurturing person, and it's broken down into 4 things, 4 different personalities. And if you're the nurturing one, and I start to talk to you about making money, money doesn't mean anything to you. It's about community. It's about helping people, changing the world. And it's about relationships. If you talk money to them, they are turned off. But if you talk to an action person, that's like action, like just get to the bottom line. Just give me the bottom line. Am I going to be able to drive my BMW if I do this? Am I going to eat at the best places? I'm wearing this is a label, a Gucci bag or whatever. So that's where they're at. And a knowledge type is that kind of, it's a little nerdy, that they have to do research. They will research the hell out of everything because they need to know that there's logic behind it and that, that there's systems, and they need to know stuff like that. Where blueprint is the type that will work for a company and how they like systems, they like everything to be all the ducks in its place, all the duck pins or however you say that. And that's how they are. And there's different ways to greet them. There's different ways if you shake their hand. A blueprint will shake your hand. A nurturing person wants a hug, and you have to learn how to speak their language. So if I go to a store to buy a computer and they start talking RAM, I haven't a clue all these years. I still don't know what it is. But if I go into a store and they say, this is a beautiful new computer and it's easy to work and it's going to look fabulous on your desktop, I'm like, I'm in. I'm in. So you have to learn how to speak to people. And it's amazing. So the people that are listening to this, they can actually go to find out what their personality code is, to go to my bank, BANK, code, code.com/Arlene, ARLENE. And this is like a $97 value, and you do it, just put that in and you'll get this for free. So it's mybankcode.com/Arlene. And it's interesting. What?
It is, because I actually did the personality code, and I'm like a nurturing, what was I think I'm like a nurturing action something. Blueprint was probably my end, but it was really interesting to me because it is definitely very telling. And I can really see that when you're talking to people about buying something, that if you don't talk to them in the right language, they won't understand because you're not talking to them about something that matters to them. And I think that's why money is such an interesting topic, because like you said, with those different personalities, each one of them will see money in a different way also. And some people see it as an investment. Other people, like you said, they want to know, okay, well, how does this all break down?
That's right.
And it's funny because there are certain clients I've had that I'll talk to them in one way, and it's like they are totally not getting it. And then I'll go, okay, well, what's another way? And then I'll, like, let's say, I like to say the big picture. And certain people, they don't want the big picture. They want, okay, what am I going to get? They want line items of all the details. And so I have to shift the way I am in order to communicate with them. And then all of a sudden, when I hit, I guess, my bank code, the right personality, all of a sudden they're in. But it takes a while to do that. So that's really interesting. And I'll make
it used to take a while. It used to take a while, Tommy, but now they have, which I don't have in front of me, but they have 4 little cards that you can hand to somebody and say, listen, this will tell me how I can work better with you and it'll save us time. So you hand them the 4 cards. You say, tell us which is more like you in the top and least like you in the bottom. And then they hand it to you and you go, oh, wow, they're an action type. Okay, I can talk about money. I can talk about, listen, I'll meet you at this famous restaurant. Let's talk about business. You got them. If you go, oh my God, nurturing. So now I have to talk to them about
hug. Give them a hug.
I'll give you one good story is that this guy was going to give a presentation for I think it was like a $250,000 project that he put together, going in front of this a big corporation, and he put everything, his blueprint, which is systems and everything in its place, and he had a whole PowerPoint. So he walked in and he said to Sherry, should I do the cards? She said, absolutely, it doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't, president of the company, doesn't matter. And they think it's fun. They never saw anything like this before. So he handed it out to everybody that was there. Maybe there were 8 guys or something. And they all went through it. They go, oh, well, what are you? And then they're comparing each other. And what he found out, that he was shocked, that they were all, their number one was nurturing. And here he had a whole PowerPoint presentation and the blueprint of the systems person. He forgot about that, and he spoke from his heart, and he got the deal. So that's why that's really important.
That's
I was like, whoa, because you think, oh, you go to a big company, they're really not going to do that. This is like silly, but no, it worked for him. It's amazing. So
I witnessed Sherry Tree speak, and let me just tell you, she had that audience in the palm of her hand, and she actually used those cards with an audience of about, I think there were like 600 people in the audience. And she had, this whole audience went nuts over this My Bank Code system. And so you're really on top of cutting edge things as it relates to marketing and money in today's world. So congratulations for recognizing that, because I witnessed the power of this firsthand, and you're absolutely right. It is phenomenal. So before I let you go, where can people find out more about you? We've got mybankcode.com/Arlene, and I'll put this in the show notes. But where else can they find out more about you so they can get to know more?
Well, I have a website, KRANTZ.com. If they can also, if they'd like to send me, if they want to send me an email, and we can set up a time for me to do a 15, 20-minute, half-hour consult with them, complimentary, of course, and to talk about how I can help them and to see if we're a good match. We're all not matches for everybody.
Right.
Some people resonate more with I'm sort of like a kick-ass kind of person. I'll hold your hand to a point. Then it's like I'm kicking your ass. So
what is your bank code? What are you? What's your number one?
Oh, action, of course.
You're in action? Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
There's a big part of me that's nurturing. It's like, but the action is like, okay, where are we going? Okay, let's go. What's the bottom line? You can tell me, Tammy, what your product is. And like, what's the bottom line?
Okay.
It's like I think out of the box. Action people think out of the box. Nurturing people will create the box and wrap it up pretty. So it's all kinds of ways that it's interesting. I thought her system was so amazing, and actually I'm going to be certified as a trainer so that I can go into corporations and also work with teams and how to get along better. How many people are going to be listening to this and saying and reading this and say, our team, we never get along because you don't know each other. You don't know each other's personality. How I can deal with you is going to be different than somebody else.
Right.
But it all boils down to MONEY, how we can make money in our lives.
Well, I really appreciate all the time you took today, Arlene, and everyone. This has been Daily Success Word of the Day, and the word is money with Arlene KRANTZ, and I really appreciate it. And listen in. We've got some phenomenal interviews. I've talked about wisdom with Patricia Frame, tag talents, abilities, and gifts with Marty Ward. And I talked with Sherry Martin about relationships. And now Arlene, I'm just getting started with Daily Success Word of the Day shows. And this is one of the first interviews. So it's really exciting.
Hey, let's start with money.
Money is so important. And thank you so much, Arlene, because you just helped me realize that I was allowing someone else's information to really influence me and affecting how I felt about myself and my value in money. And I think all of us needed to hear from you today. And I thank you so much, because it's so important that we all create daily success. So thank you, Arlene.
It was my pleasure. It was great. Thank you.
This is Tammy Patzer. Go create daily success.
You've been listening to Daily Success. Tune in again and subscribe. Never miss a moment of daily success.